Hey everyone, here we are with our EVGA Superclock GTX 1080. It features the ACX 3.0 coolers, so we're really eager to get into that. And not only just this, but we also have our high-bandwidth SLI bridge for the 1070 and 1080 series. So in later videos, we'll be able to test this one against the Republic of Gamers hard bridge, and I think I have a floppy bridge around here somewhere, but anyway, we're going to test and see if this makes any difference. And really just the only thing about the overclocking on the MSI Aero was that the overclocking didn't seem to yield any performance gains, and the voltage multiplier was stuck no matter what you did on the settings, so that's just a little bit troublesome for SLI, but yeah, we have this here, and you know what, I did want to do both these in one video, just have like this little tiny thing in one video, and like, yay, we did a video, and now I'm gonna go ahead and open this. We got it from Amazon Warehouse Deals. They actually seem to have a few. I'm not sure if that means that they are like shipping things now, because I think these were at one time on pre-orders, and everybody on, dang, I can't even get this thing open. Okay, there we go. Everybody on now in stock was like, I had one since like the end of May, or like whenever they started taking pre-orders in May. It was like a super freaking long time, and then they still hadn't shipped their cards, so I'm like, well, I'm not gonna wait around for that. So I finally found a few sites that do that, and I have that in my how to find a GTX 1080 video. But beyond that, we got in here, we have some stickers, it would look like. I think these are either just plain stickers, or these might actually be for like different lighting options, because the SLI bridge is supposed to light up too. So I guess either you would stick these over, or like slide them in if there's a place on here. We're about to find out. So here's how it looks in the box. We have all of the serial stuff and EVGA, NVIDIA SLI, and then this one, I'm pretty sure this one's just a 2-slot, but it actually looks like it has a fairly good shroud design, like as if it were an official like product put out by NVIDIA. Because usually the floppy bridges were just like this thin strip of wires that had these two connectors, and over here I'm like, well, this one actually looks like it would be very good quality. And these almost look like, I don't know if you can see, like the kind of ridge looking things right here, they almost look like a heat sink, or like some kind of ventilation. I'm not sure if that would be accurate to describe them, but oh well. We have our SLI bridge and stickers. Everyone loves stickers, and I think that's it. I think that's all that comes in here. So yeah, we got that out of the way. And now we can get to the main show, the graphics card. So here we have, it shows a little, wait a minute, right here on the camera, like they have this kind of rainbow glossy material, like what you'd see if you took like a CD or a DVD and like held it into light. It like splits all of the white light into the color spectrum. It makes it look really cool, and it goes like all the way over the case. So it's like whatever they used to finish this looks really cool. And they have their seal here, and all of the different things that it supports: G-Sync, GameWorks, GameStream. One thing that's interesting to note on this one is that on our, let me see, where is it? On our Aero box, it notes that it does, where is it? VRWorks and Ansel, and on this one it says VR ready up here in the corner, but it doesn't have any mention of Ansel or anything. Although we know from NVIDIA that it's supposed to be supported on all the cards. It's just curious as to how they don't have all the same tagline down there at the bottom. You have memory and everything. Pretty sure everybody knows that already, though. And here we have our I'm going to see if we can. Okay, that's a lot better. I had a side window over here from the recording, and it's creating a lot more glare than was necessary. But here we have an OC scanner. I'm guessing that might actually be for like auto clocking, maybe. Includes optimized EVGA precision overclock plus EVGA OC scanner. So that sounds interesting. I'm guessing that's just like a disk in here like you get with the motherboard driver disk or whatever. And we have all of our features here listed on the back. Everything in France, Portuguese, Dutch, and all that. And it's basically everything that's on the front. And I'm sure you can find all of this online, so we're going to skip through that. And then looking to unlock the power of your NVIDIA Pascal architecture. And yeah, it is what it is, apparently, with built-in automatic overclock tuning. So apparently everybody's getting on board with autoclock and OC Genie and all this other stuff, and we are now getting ways to automatically overclock, so you no longer have to spend hours benchmarking only to find that your MSI Aero OC GTX 1080 yields absolutely no performance gain with a memory clock of over 600 megahertz offset and what was it, like 200 megahertz core clock offset, which is really kind of surprising. I'm thinking that might have just been a special circumstance, because we got 3D Mark. They actually had a sale on Steam for 3D Mark where it was like 80% off. Normally 3D Mark is like $24 and you could get it for like $5 or something, but I got it with PC Mark 8. It was like bundled, so you save a little bit, and that total was like $12. I'm like, wow, that's actually really good. It seemed like at one point that 3D Mark was like $300 or something. I don't know. I could just have that completely wrong, but that's why I didn't get it for the longest time. Please note, if your product is not working properly, do not return to the store. And EVG offers direct customer service, all that stuff, their information there. So I suppose that's helpful. Trying to try to get it out of the box without breaking anything. That's always a plus when you open something effectively without breaking it. So here we have a miscellaneous slip of multi full of paper. Oh, okay then. We have a poster, apparently, like movie poster. Oh, this is like a graphics card poster, apparently. I'm not really sure what I would do with this. I don't collect posters at all, but yeah, I mean, it looks pretty nice. That's all I really have to say about it. And it has all the stuff down here, like as if it was a movie poster, and all of this. What does that say? Like 2000 something? I don't know. I'm not very good with Roman numerals lately, so we'll just have to leave that up to Google search. So we have that right up here on the top. We'll put this over here on the side. Here we have, what is this? This looks like it's an 8-pin to a 2 6-pin connector, because this card, as we'll see in a moment, I read that we have a like 2 6-pins like that were on. I think my GTX 980 hybrid had 2 6-pin. So apparently we just stick the 8-pin in here, and then it goes out to 2 8-pin, which is a total of 12. And that's actually pretty cool, because I had already dug out like an extra cable, because before, you know, like when you get a power supply that it has the cable and one end has 8 and then the other end has 8, but there's also one that splits off with 6 and 2. So that's the way I had to do that one. So that's actually pretty cool if that works effectively. We have a graphics card user guide from EVGA there, and apparently this is going through all the steps of installation and starting it up and all that stuff. SLI bridge configuration. That's nice. Here we have a 900 and 1000 series for hardware installation again. Okay, that's interesting. They want to really make sure that you know how to install this properly, so they cannot be liable, which is a good business move. I'm just not sure why they have 2 things in here about user guides. We have more stickers and a metal. Oh no, this is a case badge. It's a case badge. You can tell by the adhesive here. It's a case badge. So we know it is powered by EVGA. We don't know what brand or model or make or anything it is, but we know it has something to do with EVGA. I want to go ahead and put that out there. That's nice. 2-way SLI. Install your second GeForce graphics card onto the secondary PCI Express 16X slot. Okay, that's more stuff that we probably could have figured out on our own. The only thing that's worrisome is that the picture here, obviously this is going to be the same for every motherboard, but it appears that due to, where did I put that? It's under all of the papers and such. It's like, just looking at this, it looks by comparison to be a little offset. Like maybe that's a little bit bigger than this, and maybe this won't reach all the way. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but that's just what it looks like at face value. So after all of that multitude of paper cuts and everything else, we finally have the graphics card. Oh man, this is gonna be hard to get out. Okay, so here we have it. I'm guessing all this is for like shot-proof mounting or something. It is like really wedged in there. Like you can't accidentally take that card out. It's good, so that should mean that it was safe and secure during shipping. And we have all of our DVI port and HDMI and display ports, and we have the fans here. We have 2 twin Frozer fans, I believe, and like a massive heatsink. Like, I don't know if it's like super massive, but I mean it looks massive from the side because you have the fans and then that. And mind you, this is coming from the first 1080 that I got was the Air OC, so it was like the blower style cooler and everything. And it comes with that back plate, so we no longer have to fear about cooling or touching other peripheral components in the rear of the card, and our safeguard for the SLI bridge. So that looks to be about it. No. Okay, this looks really, really weird. We have a single 8-pin connector. It's right there. I'm not even kidding. It's like a single 8-pin connector, and I could have sworn that I read online that it was like a 2 6-pin connector. which is really weird, seeing as how we got this what, adapter? Yeah, we'll just call it an adapter. This thing here, we'll call it this thing here. It has two 6-pin to an 8-pin, which is very unusual. We're going to set this carefully over to the side, and let me see. I just don't like taking things out of the package prematurely most of the time. So apparently, you know what, we're going to go ahead and do it because I can't see crap through all this anti-static box cable thing. So it looks like that we have it's like a reverse of what I was talking about earlier. So like I said, I couldn't really see it that well, but it seems that this end is an 8-pin that plugs directly into this card, and it offers you two 6-pins, so I apparently will need that extra cable. So apparently this is an consolation or an offset, perhaps, to being able... What is that? Oh, it's like the cord. It just feels really kind of weird. Like it looks braided, but it feels kind of like some kind of plastic material. Anyway, so we plugged this into the graphics card. It's an 8-pin. It's still only a single 8-pin for some reason. Apparently they haven't gotten around to changing that. And we have two 6-pin connectors that we can have from the power supply, so we can provide more voltage to the card. So that's, well, it's better than nothing. We'll give it that. It's better than nothing. And it also has aesthetically a really nice finish, although this finish of the card isn't so much important as this finish of the card, because this is what you're going to see in the case. It's going to be sitting in the case like this, and you're not ever going to see this unless you flip the case up or unless you take it out. So it's like, I like how they tried, especially for the frontal appeal for this, but yeah, it looks really nice. But really, the only thing we need to be concerned about is the fact that it has a back plate, and I'm almost certain this lights up, because this is like, it has like a billboard kind of like finish to it, to where like this obviously has some backlighting components in it. Although my case doesn't have a window, so that's really not really anything I have to worry about. But yeah, it looks really cool, but we won't ever see it. So with all of this out of the, you'll have to forgive my awe and amusement, because honestly, I've never really had like an ACX card, because most of my cards have either had like the really cheap ones with the crappy offset that uses passive airflow, or I made like a huge leap from this all the way to a hybrid cooler design, so I've never actually seen in person the ACX cooler, but oh well. We'll be able to test out the ACX 3.0, and hopefully it'll be able to do better than our blower style, even though it is still blowing hot air into the case. Although that might be able to make some good use of the little holes that are in the back of the PCIe guards in the back. They're like kind of vent holes. They don't have any like fans attached to them or anything, so I guess it just takes whatever it can get or pushes out whatever it needs to. However, your static pressure in the case, due to the case fans, happen to work. But yeah, that's this, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can get some benchmarks, some technical specifications, and we finally have 3D Mark now, so we can run that through the Firestrike Ultra, and then we'll be able to test this bad boy out compared to its inferior rivals, the hard bridge and floppy bridge, and we'll be able to get back with more videos on that. Here we have all of our user benchmarks and our GPU Z up. And one thing I'm going to address real quick is that even on this card, as I mentioned in the MSI Aero OC video, that it didn't list the ACX quality because it said not supported on this card. So apparently this is either a 1080/1070 problem, or this is a GPU Z problem, because the GPU Z isn't measuring what quality is on the cards themselves due to lack of updating, or the card manufacturers or NVIDIA themselves have prevented that, although it measures the quality and overclocking performance of the card. So I'm not really sure why they would do that from a business and a performance standpoint, but if it's just a thing with GPU Z, we're running the latest thing anyway. So we know that there's not any updates. This is the latest version, and don't think they released any betas either, so just wanted to address that real quick. Over here we have our user benchmark for this is actually the i7, but I switched out all the hard drives, so all the stuff on here and all my games and everything, I eventually just gave up on the performance game from a 4 terabyte solid state hybrid drive and a 250 SSD boot drive, because unless we have like the exact same drives, it doesn't seem to copy over correctly. I mean, it seems to copy over like the files themselves just fine, but it doesn't seem to run as smoothly, which is a good point, I guess, since we're using a hybrid drive instead of all full SSDs and one hybrid drive for downloads and such. But anyway, I think I'll mainly just wait until I have enough saved up to be able to get those SSDs and put them in the AMD RAID build. So right now we're just benchmarking using the i7 build that I just made, and the reason that these numbers are different now is because the i7 build is overclocked just ever so slightly. So we got it up to 4.7. So that's the reason why before it was an 83 or 86, and now it's a 90 and 83. So the gaming is 125, so it is like 3% lower than the other card based on that, but I'm fairly convinced that it's just due to the hard drives or whatever may have been carried over from the operating system being on those drives. And where was it? Okay, well, apparently we didn't do a save or start with Windows like you so frequently have to do, so that's not there. But that's the reason why on this benchmark then the settings were slightly higher. Either that, or it could just be the save from the SSDs and everything anyway. So here we have performing as expected, 93 and 169. We're in the 73rd percentile with this card, and DirectX 9 does 351, DirectX 10 does 300, and for some reason it completely refuses to do DirectX 11 GPU tests, which honestly I don't get, but I guess we'll just have to deal with it unless I can figure out exactly what's wrong. Although the program has absolutely no customizable settings whatsoever. Even all the boxes that have checks when you first use it are grayed out, so all you have is a close button and a run button, and then you press the run button and then you let it run and it comes up with this. So that's either something with the card or something with this, but we are able to play DirectX 11 games as we had to do for the benchmarks that are coming up in this next portion after this video. But it says that we're performing below expectations overall, which is quite surprising considering that all of our noted ones are outstanding, except for my expansion drive, which isn't really supposed to be super special anyway, and another expansion drive. So I'm guessing if I were to take these out, then it probably would boost that score up for the overall status. But again, that doesn't really so much matter in terms of gaming. Unless your games are stored on these drives, then that might have a little bit of impact. But it still has no idea what RAM we're using, so that's nice. And if we go, where was it? Right here, we can check the top 10%, which happens to have 128%. But we know this isn't our previous one because it had a nuclear submarine rating for desktop, which doesn't quite make a whole lot of sense next to a battle cruiser for a workstation. But oh well, I guess whatever works. And it seems that all of theirs is in line, and that's basically what it all is. I'm not sure about the SLI compatibility because I haven't gotten around to testing it. I had to complete this video first with just the superclocked 1080 ACX 3.0 in there before I go putting both of them in there and trying to get it to only use one, but it actually uses both, and it really messes everything up. But I'm really excited to see if the frame rates improve at all, which obviously they should. And every SLI in the past has been like 170% increase at most, and I think maybe like 130% at best, so it should go up no matter how minuscule it should. But obviously we're hoping for a big performance gain, because otherwise there would be absolutely no reason to run them in SLI. And even more so now, since we have the high bandwidth hard bridge. It is exclusive to the 1070, 1080 series. So that's basically all we have for the user benchmark, and these are all out-of-box settings. We did overclock it to about 1800 GPU clock and a boost clock of, I think it was like 1950 or 2000 or so. Anyway, it was up there near 2000-ish, and it was doing fairly well. We did have to supply a little bit more voltage, which is a little weird because we got the EVGA Precision X OC, since this is an EVGA card, and they're being all super paranoid about it or something. Like, you have to register your card and then your email and all this other junk just to be able to get the OC version. So it's like, okay, so obviously you're not supposed to have this if you don't have an EVGA card. It's kind of weird. But when we bring this up with Afterburner core voltage is still like null, void out right here. It doesn't have anything for it, but this one seems to have the voltage intact. So we have all of that, and that's basically it for the technical specifications. Wow, my GPU fan is going berserk because for some reason it just cut off as soon as I think it was as soon as Afterburner loaded, because Afterburner was overriding whatever the Precision X OC was doing. But we do that, and if you have the room at roughly 60 degrees, I think it is in here, or thereabout. In the summer, it's anything below 70 is pretty much awesome. So as long as you have that and run the fans at 100%, then I'm seeing idles of about 35 Celsius. So that's definitely a lot better than most air-cooled cards, although it is quite cool down here. So I suppose that's one point for ACX 3.0. And although it's not really that much different than the Aero OC with the blower style, so I'm kind of curious to see how our SLI configuration is going to work with wind blowing into the case and wind blowing out of the case. And obviously we're going to have the ACX fans going like downward away from the arrow OC, which is going to be on top. So that much is certain, and it should be at a more proper elevation for the case fans to be reaching it with airflow, so that's good. We'll have the gaming and frame rate benchmarks right after this.